All right, let's just jump right in. We hear it all the time, right? AI is our new partner, our co-pilot, our second brain. But what if that whole way of thinking is, well, wrong? What if by treating AI like a partner, we're actually making our own minds weaker? Today, we're going to look at a totally different way to see our relationship with AI, how to go from being a passive patient to an active pilot. So let's start with a diagnosis, a condition that I think is going to feel uncomfortably familiar to a lot of us. See, we're running this really dangerous experiment on ourselves right now. We're just feeding our minds this constant stream of pre-digested answers. And yeah, it feels efficient. It feels like we're learning faster than ever, but something is going seriously wrong just below the surface. And there's a name for this condition, protein shake brain. It's a catchy name for a really serious problem. It's that state we get into when we stop doing the hard work of thinking and we just start drinking these effortless, prepackaged answers. Now, the analogy here is pretty powerful. Just think about it for a second. If you only drink protein shakes, your jaw muscles literally get weaker. They atrophy. You need the friction, the work of chewing to keep them strong. Well, our minds are exactly the same. They need cognitive friction, that struggle, that effort to build real intellectual muscle. And AI, by giving us those instant answers, is taking away that essential friction. So this really lays out the two paths in front of us. On one side, you've got cognitive chewing. And yeah, this is the hard work. It's wrestling with a problem, really integrating new ideas and making them your own. And on the other side, cognitive drinking. The deceptive ease of just taking an AI-generated answer. It feels great in the moment, for sure, but it leads us to a really dangerous place. Because the end result of living in that cognitive drinking mode is what the psychoanalyst Christopher Bollas called the transmissive self. And look, this isn't just about forgetting a few facts. This is about a fundamental change in who we are. We basically become hollow pipes for information to pass through, instead of being actual creators of knowledge. And here's the really tricky part. When you're in this state, you can sound incredibly smart. You can repeat these fluent, perfectly structured arguments that an AI gave you. But that knowledge, it isn't really yours. It hasn't been metabolized, it hasn't been integrated into you. It's like owning a massive library full of books you can't actually read. Okay, so that's the problem. Pretty serious, right? So how do we fix it? Well, first, we have to understand the machine we're actually working with, our own cognitive hardware. So let's switch metaphors for a minute. Let's move away from biology and into engineering to see how our minds really process the world. So your cognitive hardware has two main channels. Think of it this way. Channel 1 is your body, your senses. This is your gut feeling, your intuition, that felt sense that just tells you if something feels right or wrong. Channel 2 is all about symbols and language, the world of words, logic, and abstract ideas. You absolutely need both to do any real thinking. And this is the core of the protein shake brain problem. AI is a master of Channel 2. It speaks fluent, perfect logical language. And because of that, it can give you answers that completely bypass Channel 1. Your body, your gut check, your verification system. It basically short-circuits the full human process of knowing something. Now, the engine that connects these two channels is what the psychologist Wilfred Bion called the alpha function. The easiest way to think about it is like your mind's digestive system. It takes in raw, unprocessed, confusing experiences, what he called beta elements, and it metabolizes them. It breaks them down into clear, thinkable thoughts. So how does this actually work in practice? Well, first, you get a raw beta element, that annoying problem you can't stop thinking about or that confusing feeling you can't name. Then you generate friction by forcing your embodied sense of it, Channel 1, to find the right words in Channel 2. It's in that struggle, in that heat, that a spark of real insight happens, and it metabolizes the problem into a clear thought. If an AI just gives you the words instantly, that friction, that heat, it never happens. The circuit stays cold. Okay, so now that we understand the hardware, we can actually build a system around it. The solution here isn't just some clever trick or a new prompt. No, it's a complete, integrated system, an entire engine designed specifically to fire up that alpha function and put you back in the driver's seat. You know that alpha function circuit we were just talking about? That's the core, yeah, but it's just one piece of a much bigger machine. Imagine it's the combustion chamber inside a rocket engine. It needs fuel, your own curiosity and drive, and it needs a cooling system, a safe environment where you can handle the stress of real thinking without completely burning out. But here is probably the most counterintuitive and most important part of this whole system. Once you've metabolized a thought, once you've had that spark of real insight, you do not just store it in your memory. You have to externalize it. You have to materialize it, make it real. And this is the difference between a workbench and a filing cabinet. Your memory, it's a filing cabinet. It's great for passive storage, but you know how easily things get lost in there? Your journal, in this system, becomes your workbench. And it's not a diary for your feelings. It's an active workshop where you hammer those fleeting insights into permanent, solid structures. There's actually a really cool name for this concept, the chronotope. It basically means a place where time and space are fused together. By writing your metabolized thoughts down on your workbench, your journal, you create a permanent space where your thinking can exist and build on itself over time. If you don't do this, that brilliant insight, it just evaporates the second you close the browser tab. All right, we've diagnosed the problem, we've taken a look at the hardware, and we've designed the system. Now it's time for the final and most important piece of the puzzle, your role in all of this. This is where we make the big shift from being a patient of this technology to becoming its pilot. Which brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? If you're not a patient, and you're not just a consumer, and you're not even its partner, then what are you? What is the healthy, powerful, and productive relationship we should be building with these incredible machines? The new relationship is the Iron Man mentality. You're not just using a tool that sits on your desk anymore. You are stepping into a suit. You are piloting a powerful machine that augments your own abilities, but it demands your full attention and your complete authorship. And this right here is the core philosophy. This whole thing isn't about convenience. It's not about making thinking effortless, because we know that's the direct path to protein shake brain. This is about augmentation. It's about using this system to think bigger, deeper, and with more clarity than you ever could on your own. This image says it all, really. The suit does not fly itself. It requires your constant engagement, your agency, your direction. The moment you become passive, the moment you mentally check out and just start consuming, the whole system fails. The suit crashes. So this brings us to the most crucial, final reframe of what AI's role is in all of this. It is not your partner, it's not your friend, or your co-pilot. In this system, the highest and best use for AI is to function as a mirror. And what does this mirror do? It reflects your own latent brilliance back at you. It helps you articulate what Christopher Bolas called the unthought known, those powerful ideas and insights that are already inside you, just waiting to be discovered. When the AI says something that makes you go, yes, that's it, you aren't learning from it. You are recognizing a part of yourself. That active recognition becomes an active discovery. So we'll end with this question. This system is a powerful mirror for the mind. It's a way to bypass that trap of passive consumption and instead create a space for active augmentation and true self-discovery. So when you build this engine, when you step into the suit, and when you look into that mirror, who will you find waiting there for you?